So I just finished watching Spider-Noir on Amazon Prime, and here's my spoiler-free review. This show follows Ben Riley, played by Nicolas Cage, who is a cynical private investigator in New York City during the 1930s and the Great Depression. He used to operate as the vigilante Spider-Noir, often referred to as just the Spider, and he gave up his vigilante lifestyle 5 years prior to the show's events after something tragic happened. But now, he has to become the Spider again in order to take on a new case. In case you didn't know, this show is set in an alternate universe within the Sony's Spider-Man universe franchise, which includes some of the infamous Spider-Man villain films such as the Venom films, Morbius, Madam Web, and Kraven the Hunter. This franchise is essentially a Spider-Man-less Spider-Man franchise, and it's crazy how this entire time, Sony couldn't make a project in this franchise as good as Spider-Noir. We have previously seen Spider-Noir in the Spider-Verse films, also voiced by Nicolas Cage, but this show's version of Spider-Noir is not the exact same Spider-Noir from those films. However, according to the logic of the Spider-Verse franchise, every single Spider-Man project is canon to the franchise, and hence this show is canon to the Spider-Verse franchise as one universe within the Spider-Verse. Additionally, this show is executive produced by the amazing Lord and Miller, who are also producers on the Spider-Verse films, so you know that this show is in very good hands. I loved all the performances in this show, especially Nicolas Cage's. I loved Ben Reilly's witty and cheeky personality that's very similar to Bugs Bunny. It's also interesting how the Spider does not have a no-kill rule, unlike a lot of the other Spider-Men, which is one of the ways he remains distinct from these other Spider-Men from other Spider-Man projects. The dialogue in this show is also very good, and there were times where I genuinely felt that the dialogue was Social Network level good. In case you didn't know, The Social Network remains my favorite film script of all time, so when I compare a movie or show's dialogue to The Social Network, you know that's a very good sign. I also liked how this show incorporated a lot of tropes from the film noir genre, as well as mystery, action, and a lot of dark comedy. It really commits to that noir atmosphere, while still having the fun and weirdness you would normally expect from a Spider-Man related story. One of Spider-Noir's main companions in this show is Robbie Robertson, who's a journalist working for the Daily Bugle. I liked how this show incorporated a lot of historical context regarding the black oppression, racism, prejudice, and stigma against African Americans during the 1930s. Even though New York City, as well as the rest of the northern United States of America, had much less discrimination against black people compared to the South, they still faced serious discrimination during that period. I also liked all the other supporting characters in this show, such as the main antagonist Silvermane, played by Brendan Gleeson. I also liked Black Cat too. I also appreciated how there is both a black and white version and a color version of this show, and I liked how it's very easy to switch between the two while watching. I found both versions just as good, even though I primarily watched in black and white, because that version really suited the noir style of the show. But then again, the color version includes a lot of color that the black and white version otherwise strips away. However, I do admit that the show got a bit too confusing in the middle, and that so much was going on to the point where I struggled to follow along with what's happening. But thankfully, it all made sense by the end, and the show became much more straightforward and focused towards the finale. So overall, I give Spider-Noir an 8.5 out of 10, and definitely watch on Amazon Prime, especially if you love Spider-Man or even if you love film noir.